Okay, what up ladies and gents, it's your favorite Asian robot right here. Hopefully one day I'll be your favorite Helldivers 2 content creator. What I can say right now is that they've just dropped a balancing patch for Helldivers, and if you don't know what's in it yet, I'm going to go through it with you. If you are hearing rain sounds in the background, that's just the background sound that I like to use. I like to have a little bit of ambiance because I don't like to do videos in silence, so hope you guys don't mind that. Anyway, here's what's going on, alright? Major planetary updates. Planetary hazards are now active. So what does this mean? On some maps, there are like meteor showers, tornadoes. I know somebody told me about earthquakes. I was on Angel's Venture earlier because they tried to take it. And I saw that sneaky attack by Joel. But we actually managed to liberate the area, or so it says. I don't know because the meteor was kind of bugged. But there were no real environmental conditions on that one. I mean, there were like some foggy environments and things like that, but nothing serious like the fire tornadoes and meteor showers. I'm actually looking forward to some crazy stuff like that. Hopefully I'll get a chance to see some of that tomorrow. In terms of balancing, they have now made the eradicate missions a bit tougher. Enemies will spawn more often, so you can get swarmed pretty easily, and they will now require more kills to complete. So the time to complete the mission was previously shorter than intended, and it should now take about twice as long to complete. Most eradicate missions were completed in about 2 to 3 minutes, depending on your team, especially on the automaton planets, but now it should take about 5 to 6 minutes, depending on your skills. Okay, here's the main meat of the update. In terms of the primary, secondary, and support weapons, here's what you need to know, and yes, I know many people are unhappy because the railgun has been nerfed into the ground. When it comes to the primary, secondary, and support weapons, the first change is to the Breaker. Magazine capacity has gone down from 16 previously down to 13, recoil from 30 to 55. It's still as powerful as it was, power-wise, but it does feel a bit bad to use in the field. Especially if you're using it on auto mode, you're going to be out of ammo quite often. The Breaker Incendiary is a good replacement and does these. Of course, it is superior against bugs and does pretty okay against automatons if you're really looking for another close replacement. Of course, the Plas one is pretty fantastic against automatons, so I've heard. The railgun has decreased armor penetration in safe mode. Trying to shoot a charger's legs in safe mode, it's going to result in the round bouncing. Okay, so what you're going to have to learn with the railgun is that it now takes, even in unsafe mode, about 4 shots to peel the leg armor off the charger. It's not a very good option right now. I've said it on stream, and in fact, the link to the stream where I did a lot of this testing is in the description of this video. And that's why I'm filming this video at like 1 a.m. right now. But anyway, the railgun just hits like a wet noodle right now. It's not a very good choice, and I actually recommend not choosing it for most missions. Even against spewers, it can sometimes now take 2 hits to the head, which was what I was primarily using it for. And so the previous strategy of running a supply pack with the railgun is not really a wise decision anymore. I'm not a big fan of this change. I disagree with nerfs. I feel that other weapons should have been brought up to railgun standards so that they could, make the more difficult missions more commonplace. But overall, what I will say is that this nerf hits hard, and other weapons are not ready to take the spot of the railgun just yet. But over time, I'm sure they will adjust, so I've got my fingers crossed for that. That being said, yeah, railgun kind of really bad right now. It's a niche choice now, and if you're really good with it, I'm sure it'll be effective, but it's not that great anymore. Flamethrower's damage has been increased per second by 50%. It is better. If you use the flamethrower together with the shield against bugs, it does quite well. It can deal decent damage against chargers, but it sort of falls short against Baal Titans. We tested it significantly on stream, and while it was very enjoyable against most targets, when it comes to Baal Titans, it presents quite an issue. So I would not recommend using it against Baal Titans, but if you really want to, you can run the flamethrower and do pretty well. It's also pretty ammo efficient because a single supply crate from the resupply will give you 4 canisters of flamethrower, so it's decent. And it will kill charges. So if you want to use it, I would suggest using it. Give it a try. Currently, I'm still a fan of the arc thrower, but the flamethrower has decent use in the field now. The laser cannon. Now, this one's an interesting one. The laser cannon deals increased damage against durable enemy parts. It has increased armor penetration and improved ergonomics. What does this mean? It is way better than it was, okay? If it not only has unlimited range, so you can actually snipe a spore tower at the same distance that you would an autocannon, but it gives you a backpack slot so you can run a shield with it. It's good on every enemy other than heavily armored enemies. So chargers and battle titans, not so good against them. But here's the thing. If somebody can open the target up, right, the laser cannon will deal significant damage against the exposed flesh and absolutely wreck the target. So having one person in your party run the laser cannon is pretty good because it's got theoretically limitless ammo and a very, very long range. It is good for a sniper type playstyle where you want to give covering and support type fire to your team. That being said, the arc thrower, and it is very difficult to frag your teammates with the laser cannon. So compared to the arc thrower, it's got that going for it, and this is something that you'll have to consider. So do give the laser cannon a try. It's not a bad weapon. And it's pretty decent, especially if you aim for the head of the spears, they die pretty fast with the laser cannon. The Punisher. Okay, increase total ammo capacity from 40 to 60, increase stagger force, and increase the damage from 40 per bullet to 45 per bullet. This sounds good on paper, but when you actually try it in the field, the rate of fire on the Punisher is so bad that some of the heavier targets, the stagger won't even stagger it that much, like talking spears and stuff like that. So even if you hit the head with the spear, it doesn't die in a single shot, and this can be quite negative. So I would rather bring the Jar 5 Dominator. If you like the Punisher, you can use it, but it's really not a choice for me. Like, I would not use it. I may use the Slugger, but definitely not the Punisher. Breaker, Spray, and Pray. Okay, we also tried this out on stream, and what I can certainly say is that it's a pretty interesting choice. Its armor penetration is still pretty bad, but it can be useful if you need an automatic shotgun to take out, like, the lightly armored enemies. So if your primary weapon is mostly doing horde clear rather than dealing with armored targets, you can actually use the Breaker, Spray, and Pray and deal pretty significant damage. It's not bad. Genuinely not bad. So I quite enjoy the Breaker, Spray, and Pray. But if I had to choose the optimal choices, Breaker, Incendiary, Defender, the top tier weapons are still the top tier. So I would not switch over to using the Spray and Pray. But if you want to try it out, it's no longer a gun that shoots heated confetti. It won't dethrone the top tier weapons, but it's pretty alright. It's pretty alright for horde clear. Now, stratagem changes. Energy shield backpack. They've increased the delay before recharging. What is the actual delay that they've changed? Basically, last time it was 6 seconds to recharge. Now it's 11 seconds. Well, 10/11 seconds. It's kind of in the mid there. We didn't get it to an exact timing, but basically the shield regeneration is about 66% longer. And this can make it pretty difficult in the field if you're used to the shorter regeneration, but once you start positioning well, the shield still reigns as one of the champion stratagems for defending yourself and keeping yourself alive in the most intense situations. So I would still recommend the energy shield backpack. The 380mm and 120mm orbital barrages, they are pretty darn good right now. If you like to run them before, you will like to run them even more right now. They've decreased the spread quite significantly, and the 380mm barrage actually destroys Battle Titans, which is pretty insane. It's highly effective, and it has been very good at clearing heavy nests, things like that. We're actually using it to some pretty good effects. So if one person on the team runs it, it's actually a pretty decent choice. I personally wouldn't run it myself, but if you like it, go for it. It's not that bad. It's great for taking out heavy bases. I feel that it will see a lot more uses against the automaton bases, the big, large, heavy automaton bases. That might be where you might see a lot of good uses of the barrage. Okay, in terms of the fixes, what they've done so far is that they've fixed the armor rating values, not reducing damage as intended. However, the effect of this is pretty minimal because we're still running mostly medium and light armor, because the mobility on the heavy armor is not that great and the protection is not that great either. Quite frankly, when we tried it out on stream, the issue was that we were still dying hardcore. So you might want to prioritize medium and light armor. The rest is just minor stuff like certain bug holes, unnecessarily hard to destroy, now easier to destroy. Anti-aliasing toggle not working on PS5 has been fixed. Balanced lighting across the planet. Improved flashlight efficiency. Increased visibility during sand rain weather on Errata Prime. They've updated tutorial materials and lighting. Improved cases where materials could look blurry if the lighting graphic setting was set to low. They fixed timing issues that could occur. They've changed button interaction behaviors for buttons in the bunker. Helldivers will now let go of the button after holding it for a few seconds. Okay. They fixed some cases of large assets floating if the ground beneath them was blown up, but that still happens, by the way. Now, not the large assets, but the smaller assets do. Helldivers standing next to ICBMs during launch will get properly toasty. So, with a chance of not so spontaneous combustion. My pal Rena stood right next to it and still didn't burn up, so, you know. Fixed unthrowable snowballs after ragdolling. Fixed being able to use grenades after drowning. Camera no longer locked on the player's own corpse and block spectators mode, so this is a welcome change. You'll always be able to spectate now. Helldivers now take damage from fire, gas generated by other players, and armor no longer stretches when dismembered, but the bugs still stretch. FYI. If you dismember a bug, and we saw it on stream, their head will still stretch, so just be aware of that. Okay, these are the known issues. If you want to take a look at them, you can take a look at them yourself, but right now, what I have to say is thank you so much for joining me tonight. These patches, this patch is controversial. My conclusion on the patch is that it's going to make a lot of people upset because their favorite toy, the railgun, just got turned into a wet pool noodle, and not too many people are going to be happy about that. I can definitely understand the strain of that because it is a very negative feeling. And even I myself am not too happy because, honestly to God, they really shouldn't have done that with the railgun, but it is what it is. And I guess we'll just have to roll with it. I also have to thank two people for their amazing super chats recently. Wishlist Destroyer gave me my first red super chat in a long time. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Machine Wraith, thank you for the super chat the other day. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel as well. Thank you to all of our channel members making things possible. Without y'all, I wouldn't actually be able to continue streaming, so I appreciate everything you guys do for me. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support, and I hope I'll see you guys on the next run of Helldivers. Catch you on the stream where we're gonna be testing even more intense stuff. So I'll see you guys there. I'm tired. I gotta get some sleep. Catch you later.